Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is the 1st of December, so that is the first day of Vlogmas. So I'm going to be doing a video every day for the month of December. So I'll be having lots of videos on budgeting tips, not overspending in the holidays. I'll also be including my regular videos that I normally do, and I'll have a few new videos for you to see. So let's get started. So today's video is going to be on Christmas savings tips and budgeting for Christmas and making sure, we're trying to make sure that you don't overspend, not having to use credit cards and not get yourself into debt at Christmas. It's really hard to do. I've always had a really hard time with Christmas, but this year I've found it a little bit easier by using my savings challenge and also breaking down my categories into individual amounts, which has made it so much easier for me to concentrate on and not be such a big, overwhelming amount. So I thought I'll give you a few ideas on the best ways to save at Christmas time. So to start with, my first big tip is don't overspend. Work out what your budget is, what your priorities are. So just, you might have one particular person or just your children or your immediate family that you might want to spend more on, and then the other people that you have to buy for, the other things you're going to have a much smaller budget for, but you're not wanting to sacrifice certain areas. So I suggest that you just write down, what I tend to do is I work out what I want to spend. So I sit down and I write down all the categories that I need to budget for. So I've always struggled with, I think of certain things and then there's certain things that I forget when I get to Christmas. So Santa, the way our family works is all the main presents come from myself, and then all my kids get a stocking with just bits and pieces, and that's what we've always done. But it's always, because I've got 4 kids, 4 stockings with just bits and pieces usually costs quite a bit. They've always only ever had cheaper items in there, but it still easily adds up to about $200. So and that's something that I kind of leave till the end, and then at the very end, when I really don't have the money, I have to try and come up with $200 to try and do that. So this year I've made sure that I've bought things throughout the year to put in there, and also I've got its own category for that. Decor, now this is obviously something that you don't need. Most of us have lots of stuff already. The last couple of years there's been things that I've wanted to get and haven't been able to afford to. Some years I've overspent buying things that I shouldn't have bought. I've been really good this year. I've bought a few little things, but nothing like I've done in previous years. Christmas lunch, depending on how your family does things. We always go to my parents' house and my mum pays for Christmas lunch. I usually take a couple of bits and pieces, but she likes to provide that for us on Christmas, so I don't have to budget for lunch. Secret Santa is another category I have, and then I try and have like a miscellaneous category maybe for extra gifts, like you might want to have a few boxes of chocolates or a few things in case people pop over, or things that you're not expecting that you might need money for. Even if it's just $20 or $30, sometimes that's enough to get you out of trouble. So I try and make a list of everybody that I need to buy a gift for, what I would like to spend, realistically given, I sort of have a bit of an idea of what I can budget, and certain amounts, like for my children, for example, I'll set a certain amount for them, and that's definitely what I'm spending, and then the rest of the people, they might get a smaller amount if there's not as much to go around. And then I sort of add it up and see where it comes to. If it's not realistic, then I go from there and I start whittling it down to what it needs to be, whatever my budget amount is that I've got. and then I try and save throughout the year. This year, I really was quite loose with my budget earlier in the year, and I've really tightened up towards about August, September, and I've had a lot of other things that I've had to pay for. We had a really large vet bill that I've been tackling, and that's sort of been taking things away from my Christmas savings. So next year I'll definitely start at the beginning of the year and have all year to save, and it will be a much more organised system for next year. But starting halfway through the year, and then you just work out what you can afford each week, and that's how you work out your budget for your Christmas. Or you can set a budget, and then that's what you incorporate into your budget, this amount every week. And then you can just break it up into the different categories. But I really having an actual set amount for each person and making a list, so that if you buy things throughout the year, I've got an app on my phone, it's called Gift List, and you can put each individual person in, the budget that you want to spend, and then when you've purchased things. So you can put in that you have bought somebody a new jumper, and you might have bought them a box of chocolates, and you might be thinking about buying them a gift card. So you can put in there that you've bought the jumper, the chocolates, and then the gift card is just an idea and you haven't purchased that yet. So then it keeps a track of what you've bought, what you're thinking about buying, and then the budget amount. So if you've got $100, for example, and you spend 50, then you know you've got 50 left. And I've found since I started using this app, I really don't overspend, not accidentally anyway. So it just makes a big difference if you have a set amount, and then you can buy it throughout the year when things are on special. I try and shop throughout the year. This year, during the Afterpay Day sales, I got some massive sales. I saved about $250 on things for my kids. So I bought those throughout the year, and I've had those put away for Christmas, which is fantastic. So I had a big chunk of that already done earlier in the year. Unfortunately, I hadn't had a chance to budget for that yet, so I did put that on my Afterpay, and I paid that off slowly, so that those purchases were done, and I was lucky enough to have that to fall back on. But it makes a big difference when you can shop, because we're going on vacation this year. My budget for my kids is a bit lower this year, which they were aware of because we're going on holiday, and so I've managed to get them a lot more than I had planned because I've saved so much on some of their presents. So it just means that I can squeeze a little bit more in for their budget. But yeah, you can definitely get, there's obviously Black Friday as well, depending on when everybody's birthdays. So I do Black Friday for a couple of my kids' birthdays as well, because they're in December. So I try, when I think about the sales, I try and make a list. So like I said, I use my app and I put in ideas, and then I just wait until certain places. I'm registered with a lot of different places on their email list, so they send me a message. So Peter Alexander, for example, will have 40% off quite often. So if I was wanting to buy someone something from there, I would just put it in my app, and I'll keep an eye out for when the sale's on. And when it's 40% off, that's when I go and buy it. And it's amazing how much you can save by waiting for sales. And like I said, you can wait for 30th of June, you can wait for Black Friday. They have Afterpay Day sales. They have random sales throughout the year that you can, even Boxing Day, if you want to look out and you find some things in the Boxing Day sales that you might be able to put away for next year. It's always a great time to save some money. But yeah, I think it's really important just to have a list of what you want to buy, have a budget, and stick to it. It's the best way not to overspend. Previous years, I've sort of just bought throughout the year, and I've bought here and there, and then next minute you've got way too much for one person and not enough for the other person, and then I feel like I have to boost up the other kids to meet what I've bought for the first child. So yeah, having a plan is the best way to not overspend. And the last tip that I've got is, if you watch my normal videos, you'll see that I'm very invested in my rewards points, and with Woolworths and Coles, it makes a massive difference. So for Woolworths and Coles, with really only since about August, September, really concentrating on boosting the boosters that I get and having the bonus points, not buying things that I don't require. Occasionally I will buy, like I might buy extra cat food if there's bonus points. When I buy my kitty litter at Big W, I might buy a couple of bags instead of one if they've got a big booster available where I get lots of points. But it's longer life products that I know I will use in the near future. I don't go and buy random things that I don't need just to get the extra points. It's just the basically buying what I normally buy anyway. And I have a low income and I don't spend a lot at the supermarket, and I've managed to save, I think I've got to 360 at Woolworths and 350 maybe at Coles. So that's paid for my groceries for all of December and a couple of weeks into November. So that's just been amazing at this time of year. So that extra money has been put towards my daughter's birthday account and also my Christmas savings challenge. So I also have the Woolworths Everyday Extras, which is $7 a month, but it is well worth it. You can also pay $59, I think, for the year, and most people generally save the $59 in the first month. At the moment, I'm still just doing mine month by month, but I'll be changing over after Christmas to the yearly plan. There's also apps like ShopBack, where you download the app, you shop, you just click on the shop that you want to buy at, and it takes you straight to their website, and then they have a percentage that you get back. So sometimes you might get $1.50 back, other times you might get $12. With a shop, I was going to buy alcohol at BWS. I generally only buy it a couple of times throughout the year. I don't drink a lot, and I just stock up a couple of times during the year and just have it ready for when I need it. And I managed to get $19.40 back. I only spent $100. So that's an amazing amount back. I do have my referral code down below. If you would like to join up using my referral code, we both get $10, I think it is, for signing up using my code. But I generally save about $100 a year. This year I've been a bit more religious with using it, and I have got nearly $200 back this year, which has been amazing. And I'll be saving that for my vacation. I'm going to cash it out. I think I just get it directly, just put straight into my bank account, and you can get it out. I don't think there's any minimum that you can have to use to cash it out. And also my receipt jar app, I've also got the code below. If you sign up using my referral code, we get 200 points each when you scan your first receipt. But I got a $100 voucher in June, I think it was, July. And it's literally from just scanning receipts from shopping that you've already done and uploading it. I am up to probably next week I'll get my $50 voucher. I've made, so over the year, I will have made $150 just by scanning my receipts for shopping that I've already done. So it's literally money for nothing. I've also started doing surveys in the last 2 months, and I can't believe how much I've been making on those. They are sometimes a little bit time consuming, but the only time that I do them is when I'm laying in bed, when I'm watching TV, I'm sitting in the car waiting for kids to come out, when it's just time that I'm not really doing anything anyway. And I generally get about $25 a week, and sometimes you get bigger surveys. I do the one through the Coles app, the Flybuys app, sorry, and I get Flybuys points, and usually you get 400, 600, 1,000, and it's amazing how quickly it helps add up to my Coles Flybuys points. I finished using all my Flybuys points the other day, and I am now back up to $20 again. I had a booster this week to get $10, and then I've been doing surveys and I'm back up to $20 already, which is fantastic. And also I've got another 2 weeks of my 4-week booster, and I'll have $50. So all of a sudden I'll be back up to $70 before Christmas, which is awesome. So there'll be a bit more petrol for December, which will be great. So that's my main tips for Christmas shopping. Try not to overspend. Try and pay cash with everything. Try not to put it on credit cards. I know sometimes it's really hard. And my recommendation is to try and use something like Afterpay rather than a credit card. If you have to put something on credit. I had a credit card years ago, and my husband at the time put us into a lot of debt with that, and once I managed to get out of that debt, I've never ever had another one. I don't think I could trust myself with it either. Not that I was a problem before, but I don't think I would do it now. But I find with Afterpay, it's a really great thing to have to get you out of trouble occasionally when it's really hard when you're on a low income. Sometimes there are things that you need to pay for, and it's great to have that as a backup. But using this cash envelope method, I have found it's so much more rare that I need to use it. I always have the money budgeted. It's only for really rare occasions. And like I said, when I did the Afterpay day sales, and I didn't feel guilty putting it on there because I saved myself so much money in doing it at the time, and I had it paid off before my 8 weeks was up. So I made a really conscious effort to get that paid off as soon as I could. So enjoy your shopping for Christmas this year. I hope everybody enjoyed the first video of Vlogmas, and stay tuned and come back for tomorrow and see what kind of video we have in day 2. So thank you very much for watching. I'd love it if you could like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel, and maybe below if you can put a Christmas tree in the comments so I know that you made it to the end. Okay, thanks for watching.